Alright, good morning everybody, it's your boy Akeem and welcome to today's vlogs. Here to talk about all of my previews for the SEC Conference. And I'm going to start things off with the Alabama Crimson Tide. Now the Tide went 12-2 last season, the SEC champs, and they almost made it to the national championship but lost in the Sugar Bowl against the eventual national champs, the Ohio State Buckeyes. But what a run they have been having over the past of the last seasons. They actually have been owning the SEC over the past 5 or 6 years. They've been doing a great job under head coach Nick Saban. Now they might not be in it for a great season this year because they have to pick up a lot of loose areas in which they have to get replace a lot of great players, both offensively and defensively. Now they only have 2 returning starters on the offensive side, and that's actually lineman Cam Robinson and Brian Kelly. But some experience from many players who have played on the offensive side of the field during game time. Now Jay Coker will be the starting quarterback. Hopefully he could definitely replace Blake Sims, who had a great season last year. 28 touchdown passes to 10 interceptions. Now he does have a couple of players that he can throw to. New players that he's gonna have to throw to: Robert Foster, Darius Stewart, and Chris Blake. Now this is gonna be an interesting setup because Amari Cooper, their star receiver and SEC Offensive Player of the Year winner, he's actually now with the Oakland Raiders. This is going to be very interesting because they're going to have to pick up with new receivers, but they do have a lot of talent entering this year, particularly even at running back with Derrick Henry, who actually had 990 yards rushing, and he actually is 6'3", 242 pounds, a huge, humongous size with him and Kenyon Drake, who's splitting the carries this season. But I believe that Henry will get the bulk of the carries for the Tide's ground attack. Now on other impact players that they do have, a player who made second team All SEC defense, and Cyrus Jones, 3 interceptions and 9 pass breakups last season. And they do have a good linebacker who was a first team All SEC performer, and Reggie Ragland, who had 92 tackles last season. He could be a Buckets Award winner watch list this upcoming season. He is on a watch list. And they do have a good player in Jonathan Allen, who was a first team All SEC player and the defensive line. Now there is one particular player that I'm going to have my eye on all season this year in the defensive side, and that is Reuben Foster. He was actually a star player coming out of high school and the #1 recruit as far as many boards and players coming out of high school a couple of years ago, but he's not been playing up to par during his career. He actually first decided to go with Auburn, but before switching up to Alabama to join the Tide defense. Now this upcoming season they do have a lot of great recruits, just like how USC did. They have one of the top recruits in class this upcoming year, and with the #3 cornerback in Kendall Sheffield. This is a good player out of Missouri City, Texas. The #1 quarterback in some boards in Blake Barnett out of Corona, California, all the way from California. And the #1 athlete, Bo Scarborough, out of Northport, Alabama. That is an excellent pickup. They've been doing a great job in recruiting class over the course of the last couple of seasons, and they picked up the #1 wide receiver in Calvin Ridley. I think they're still reloaded with young players, but this is going to be a scary season because they're going to have to depend on these young players to step it up this season to replace a lot of great players like Landon Collins. I already mentioned Amari Cooper. They also lost a lot of other key players like Ari Kwanjo, offensive lineman, who was a first team All SEC performer last season according to the AP poll. Now this season they have to play at Georgia, Mississippi State, and Auburn. This year I think they're going to go 9-3 this season. I think they're going to go 3 losses this year because they're going to have to rebuild. Now I know this, I've been doubting Alabama in previous years, and they definitely have proved me wrong, but every year I have to go with my gut feeling, and I think that this will be the year where they're going to have at least 2 losses before the college football playoff, and I think they're going to have 3 losses with 9-3 because of the rebuilding on the offensive side. I think even though they have a lot of talented players, but they're still young and inexperienced on certain areas, so I'm going to have to go with 9-3 overall this season. Now the next time to catch you guys will be in just a couple of seconds. I have more blogs for you for today. Thank you for watching this blog. I'm your man Akeem McCall. Be easy.